Hello and welcome to Brock's Basement. This is going to be my comic book pull list for the week of April 19th, 2023. Let's get right into it. First up, we have Batman, Superman, World's Finest. This is issue 14. Who killed Simon Stagg? Does anyone really care? I mean, he's an asshole. I'm behind on Batman World's Finest, or Batman Superman World's Finest. It's a really good series from what I've read. I just haven't had a chance to just sit down and plow through. Hopefully I will get a chance sooner rather than later, but it's definitely on my list of stuff to get caught up on. Next up, we have Billionaire Island, Cult of Dogs, number 6 by Mark Russell. This is just fantastic. It continues the his Billionaire Island stuff. It's great. Mark Russell's fantastic. He still has a Kickstarter of his cartoons up. I'll post a link in the description below for you to check that out. I backed it, partially because I felt threatened by his tweets, but partially because I'm really interested in to see his own cartoons and how and what he created and all that stuff. I harken back to my Far Side days as a kid. Next up, we have Catwoman number 54. I'm so behind on Catwoman. Couldn't even tell you what's going on. It looks weird from what's going on with what's in the covers, but who knows. Next up is a book that I should read because it's not going to take me very long to read it, and that is DC Silent Tales. This is 6 short stories. It's a one shot, so I should read this fairly quickly. So we'll see. Next up is the final issue of Deceased: War of the Undead Gods. I don't even know where I'm at on the Deceased stuff. It's been good. Tom Taylor's done a great job with it, but I haven't stayed caught up. I need to get caught up on a lot of stuff, but life gets in the way and doing stuff and other things. So I'll get into that later. Next up is a book I'm super excited for, which I will most likely read, and that is The Expanse, Dragon Tooth, number 1 of 12. Andy Diggle is being allowed to do officially licensed or backed, or however you want to say it, by James S. Comey. I always forget. Or Corey. Sorry. All my Expanse books are right here, except for one. The softcover version of the novella, but that's out next month, so it'll be on here. You'll see. But this is stuff that takes place in between books 6 and 7. I love the Expanse universe. It's amazing. It's fantastic. I can't wait to dive into more stuff from the Expanse. Next up, we have Flash number 797. We're getting closer to that 800 number, and I think Flash is renumbering at number 1. But yeah, I need to get caught up on Flash. I don't know if I'll ever get caught on Flash. He's too fast. Next up, we have House of Slaughter, number 14. It's just fallen off for me, honestly. House of Slaughter, it's coming to an end, so I'll finish it out. But I think the expansion of the universe for Something is Killing the Children happened too quickly, and it needed to more naturally progress than what James Tynion did with it. So yeah, we'll see. Next up is The Last Barbarians. This is issue 3. First issue, again, I really enjoyed. So I'm just going to read the series because, yeah. Next up, we have Nightwing number 103. I'm so far behind on Nightwing, but what can you do? I need just nothing happening to me for a month, and maybe I'll get caught up. Next up, we have Star Wars: The High Republic Adventures number 2 of 4 from Dark Horse. I get this mainly for my son to read. Dark Horse has started putting it on this glossy paper, which is really weird for the cover stock. But yeah. By the way, I'm recording this on Superman Day. The 85th anniversary of Superman is happening. All right, is it 85th? I think? Yeah, that sounds about right. Anniversary of Superman. So, happy birthday, Superman! And we have Superman number 3 this week. So the new series started out. Again, I read the first issue. It was interesting, so I'm going to go continue with it. But I get behind on things. Next up, we have Walking Dead Deluxe number 61. I got 60 issues prior to catch up with. 2 more books. Wonder Woman number 798. We're getting closer and closer to Wonder Woman hitting 800, and then we are going to be getting the Tom King Wonder Woman. That's not to say you shouldn't be reading it. I've been enjoying the Lazarus Planet stuff, kind of spin-off stuff. I've said before, I'm not the biggest fan of Lazarus Planet, but I think this did the stuff with the gods and Wonder Woman is actually decent, so I'm glad they went with it. Next up, we have Exo Man of War #2. Funny enough, Becky Coulihan, right, is writing this one, Coulihan, and she's also writing this one. More people seem to be interested in this than this, so I don't know. I haven't yet read the first issue. I love Liam Sharp's artwork. I've enjoyed Exo Man of War. Valiant has been... They were doing a really, really great when they came back, and then they just honestly shit the bed, and couldn't keep that kind of mentality going. They started doing miniseries instead of doing ongoing. Like, it just... They fell into every trap that publishing houses fall into, and they couldn't seem to get themselves out. So they don't really have too many titles currently. It's Exo Man of War right now. Shadow Man was doing stuff, and there was Book of Shadows, but I think I'm missing an issue of that. So who knows? But yeah, it's really sad to see kind of where the Valiant universe has fallen to. Let's get to variant covers. There's only a handful. First up, we have I can't pronounce, Joshua Sway Sabe. I don't know. Catwoman cover for 54. That one's pretty cool. I like that one there. There is an homage cover for Deceased. No, an homage cover for Deceased, War of the Undead Gods. Number 8, this is the wonderful variant for the Power Girl. Harkens back to the old Power Girl cover there, but she's now a zombie. Bum, bum, bum. And of course, I had to grab the acetate cover to stick with, all the acetate Deceased covers I've been getting. Expanse had a bunch of variants. I grabbed the ones that I got what I got. First up is the Expanse. This is cover B by Gist. Online it says Yoon, but on the back of it says Gist. So I don't know. I'm assuming it's Gist because that's the regular V variant, and then the 1 in 10 variant is supposed to be the Virgin Yoon variant that's here. Yeah. And then the unlockable variant is the Ward variant, which is just the main cover, but Virgin. So those are the ones I snagged up. Cool. I'm so happy I got them. And then I got basically a ton of Wonder Woman variants. So got the Joelle Jones one. There, it's pretty interesting. Got the Jeff DeCall variant there with Mary Marvel in the background. And Tony Daniel did a cover, so I snagged that one up there. Even though it looks like Superman's almost eating that bullet there. Interesting. But yeah, that was it pretty much for the books and variants this week. I did get some graphic novels. The first one is a young adult graphic novel, and that's Girl Taking Over, a Lois Lane story. I got it for me to check out, but also for my daughter to check out, because hopefully she likes it. Because I'm just trying to get her to read and stuff like that and all that. So, yeah. And then finally I did grab, speaking of Liam Sharp, I got the Deluxe Starhenge Book 1, The Dragon and the Boar hardcover here. This nice collection. It's only $30, so it's not too bad for a deluxe, decent sized hardcover. So I'm super stoked that I grabbed this bad boy here. Ryan Higgins actually posted that there was this... the Batman Who Laughs deluxe hardcover came out, and that was $40. And then there was this Conan or Planet of the Apes something hardcover from Marvel that was roughly the same size, like that thick, and Marvel was charging $100 for it. Yeah. So who knows? That's it for my pull list. But I do have an announcement. It's Monday morning. We talk about this on the Comics Conspiracy podcast for the whole episode this week. So if you check out the Comics Conspiracy podcast, you'll have already heard this. Or if you haven't, there'll be a link in the description below for you to check out the Comics Conspiracy podcast, which I'm on every week. We talked basically about a long infomercial on the comic book anthology that Ryan Higgins and Kevin Sharp edited. But basically came about because the anniversary of Comics Conspiracy, the comic book store I work at, is going to be celebrating its 30th anniversary this year. It's been around for 30 years. Now, Ryan hasn't owned it for that whole time, mainly because it was 93. He was 13, 14. So, yeah. But the store has been around for 30 years now, and Ryan wanted to do something to kind of commemorate it. And this idea of an anthology came about. Ryan asked myself, Toby, who works at the store and is a podcast host, Kevin, him, like some people to write stuff. But then it kind of blew up to, well, let's ask virtually anybody. And kind of the only premise was there needed to be a comic book shop in the story. I have a story featured in it. It's a 3-page thing drawn by Lane Terasaki. Lane did an amazing job on the story that I had. But we've officially released it. It's called Meanwhile, a Comic Shop Anthology. We are releasing it on Comic Hub, so if you have a store that uses Comic Hub, you should be able to order it through your shop, and they can basically order it from us. They were testing something out with the hub, so ask your local shop if they use a hub, or if they do, and if they can get you a copy that way. Otherwise, if you want, you can go over to Kickstarter. We are up on Kickstarter. We are a project they love, and also we were funded in less than 24 hours. So we started on 9 in the morning on Monday, the 17th, and we were fully funded by before 9 o'clock on the 18th. You have up until May, like middle of May, to do it. We're doing the 30-day one. So we've already hit our goal. Whether or not we hit the goal, we were still publishing, but this kind of helps us kind of gauge numbers and stuff like that. So if you want to grab a copy, there are 2 covers. Basically, the breakdown is if you buy it on Kickstarter, it's $10 per book, and then you get a digital copy. And shipping, I think in the continental United States is $6, but don't quote me on that. I don't remember. But yeah, there'll be a link in the description below. You can go check out the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter does link out to other stuff. But if you're like, well, I don't care about something that you wrote or Ryan wrote or any of that stuff, we got some actual big talent to actually do some stuff on our thing, and some people that are not necessarily normally like, oh, that's a comic book thing. One of the big names we got right off the bat was Brian Michael Bendis. He's doing an extra chapter in his, like, one of his comic things or whatever that's going to be in our thing, but also in his thing. I can't remember what the name of it is off the top of my head. We also got Scott Snyder and Jock to do something. We're waiting on the pages, but they're done, supposedly almost done. So, but we're not going to print for... Everything should be done. We talk about this at length on the podcast if you really want to listen to it. But we have also Liam Sharp, or sorry, not Liam Sharp, Joshua Williamson did something with his artist on Nailbiter. Can't remember the name off the top of my head, but they have a story in there as well. The granddaughter of like one of the founding people of DC Comics. She does a lot of like talks, and like she has a lot of this history and memorabilia. She did a story in there. A lot of a handful of indie creators put stuff together. We have pinups from some fantastic artists. There are 2 covers, cover A and cover B. Both of them are fantastic. You can get a digital version of it through Ko-fi. All of that's listed on the Kickstarter. You can check that out. But yeah, it's called Meanwhile, a Comic Book Anthology, and it's got a comic book made by me in it, written by me. So, I don't know. Feels kind of good. Well, pat myself. Yeah. So, yeah, that's it. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments down in the comment section below. I'm probably not going to be... I haven't been that good at going this past week. Busy and all that stuff. This week I'm on spring break from my day job, so I'm working more at the comic book store. And just overall busy. I'm seeing Super Mario Brothers... with my kids this week, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm just trying to get through and get some stuff done and get some stuff listed on eBay and all those fun things every single day. But yeah, so yeah, you can listen to me on the Comics Conspiracy podcast. Again, like I said, we recorded an entire episode talking about Meanwhile, a Comic Book Shop Anthology, so you can check that out. There'll be a link in the description below to go to our webpage to listen to our podcast, or you can find us on a lot of your podcast players if you just search up the Comic Conspiracy Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter. My handle's @BrockSager. You can follow me on Instagram @Brock's Basement. And yeah, that's it. I'm tired. I got stuff to do. And I'm recording this before the Wednesday, but I'm gonna be up till midnight because the DLC for Horizon Forbidden West, Burning Shores, it's dropping. I downloaded. I went from 100% to 73%. Oh my gosh, that's so much to do. So yeah, that's my plans for the next few nights. Is some Horizon Forbidden West, even though I've been playing the shit out of it, to finish New Game Plus on Ultra Hard and play through the game yet again to make sure I was ready for the DLC and to get an armor and a die to finish up all the trophies. 260 some hours in that game. I love it. Won't forget. So I'm gonna go. Have a good one.